Humans are obviously polluting waterways. In the not too distant future, it is estimated the amount of plastic in the ocean will outweigh the amount of fish in the ocean. But also of concern are chemicals which are released, which disrupt the endocrine system. They are endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs. Perhaps they mimic a hormone, or they are able to bind to a hormone receptor, and so therefore any organism which ingests it therefore has altered its signaling pathways within its bodies. Let's look at fish and primarily focus on the reproductive system. In humans, there are diverse steroidal hormones which function in many metabolic pathways throughout the body, particularly in the reproductive system. This includes multiple estrogens. Well, these estrogens are excreted in human urine and also in the urine of cows, pigs, horses, and chickens. If one lives in areas where livestock are plentiful, the amount of estrogen that is released in manure and can enter waterways is significant. In the United States, tons and tons of estrogens are released into wastewater every year. Fish are affected by estrogen. They make their own estrogen. They have estrogen receptors. So when they ingest estrogen from the water, this affects their signaling pathways in ways other than what their bodies intended. It increases the number of intersex fish, and this can be measured by the levels of a protein that females put in eggs present in males and juveniles. It can be measured by the number of testes which actually produce eggs and decreased sperm counts. Now, this is clearly of concern with fish, but since estrogens can increase the risk of multiple cancers in human women, obviously this is a concern for humans as well. Not only are natural estrogens of potential concern to how they affect fish, but also synthetic estrogens, such as those used in the birth control pill, such as ethinyl estradiol EE2. It's excreted in urine, and it is much more potent than natural estrogens, even in small quantities. In fish, it has been showed to delay puberty, alter the gender ratio by feminizing males, and decreasing testicular development and sperm number. Of concern to both humans and animals are chemicals which can bind the estrogen receptor even though they are not estrogen. So it is known that there are chemicals, some for example in plastics, that can bind the estrogen receptor and tell an individual's body that estrogen is signaling a cell. This is true in both fish and in humans. Even when estrogen isn't, it is a chemical which was not produced by the body. So estrogen is an easy example, but there are others as well, where there are pharmaceutical chemicals used in human drugs, or antifungal agents used in agriculture, or even phytoestrogens released from plants, such as alfalfa and soy, especially in areas where these are cultivated, where there would be signaling molecules in wastewater and the water near farms, which would then potentially affect fish. Unfortunately, we simply do not have enough data to make broad sweeping statements. For example, there are so many different kinds of fish, tens of thousands of species. Only a few have been regularly experimented on. And fish can vary. For example, some have genetic determinations of gender, some can change gender throughout their lives, etc. We have not tested the majority of chemicals which are released into the environment for their toxicities. And we certainly do not test on what happens after, say, a chemical is changed by an organism's body into something else. What are the effects of that second chemical? Or what happens if two chemicals react and then make a different product? Or what happens when there are combinations of chemicals? What might be the effects of chemical 1 and 2? Suffice it to say that humans are releasing large amounts of chemicals which we know disrupt endocrine signaling, both in fish and then also in humans. We are certainly concerned about fish and the effects that we are having on the natural world, but this is also a cautionary tale with gender specifically. If many of these chemicals are disrupting puberty, lowering sperm counts, and are capable of reversing gender or creating intersex genders, this is certainly a cautionary tale about how our chemical pollution may have diverse effects on humanity.